It is Tuesday, fresh out the shower, got a clean shave and a taper, DIY style, because you know me. I ain't about to pay anybody to do something that I can do myself. And as I'm making my commute to my carport, which is where I'm at right now, I stumbled across this YouTube video from one of my favorite content creators, AntonDaniels. Check out his channel. And he was doing this review about this guy speaking about how being a black man in America is a curse. We're at the bottom of the totem pole in the workforce, and when it comes to dating, all of this nonsense. And I want to tell you guys this. Right now, I'm leaning on my Beamer's right there. I'm at my house. My son is inside, probably in his recliner, chilling, dog chilling, AC blowing, not looking forward to that bill, but it is what it is, right? That's life. And we have a huge issue within our community. We have people who speak like that speak a whole bunch of negativity about how the world is against us, how the government is against us, how the white man is against us, how the whole system is against us. And that could be further from the truth, okay? I'll give you an example. Who is the CEO of Red Lobster? He's a black man. He's black. There's billionaire black men, multimillionaire black men. See, our issue is this. We are so used to being the victim of every single thing because, yes, we were slaves. Yes, we were in bondage. Yes, we had to deal with segregation. Yes, we did have Black Wall Street get destroyed by the government. Yes, all of these things happen. But it's 2025 now. We have every single opportunity to be as successful as we want to, but we choose not to. We choose to make the worst decision that puts us in poverty, that puts us in a disadvantage. And yes, maybe your parents had you at the wrong time. Maybe they were broke as hell and they did not manage their body parts well, and they produced you and put you in a terrible, harsh environment. But once you grow up and you understand the difference between right and wrong, it's ultimately up to you to change your dynamics, to change your environment, to educate yourself, to learn, to conduct yourself in a certain fashion to where people from other cultures and races can start respecting you. You don't have to be the stereotypical angry black man or the loudmouth black woman. You choose to be that person. You can conduct yourself with ethics, with class. But if you choose not to, how do you expect anything positive to happen for you? It's not going to happen. Once you recognize that your self-inflicted wounds have caused you so much damage, and once you realize that there's nobody else to blame, because sooner or later, you're going to come to that come to Jesus moment and say, look, everything that's transpired in my life that has been negative is because of me. And once you realize that, you can change that. You don't have to be stuck in poverty. You don't have to be stuck in that victim mentality, but you gotta want to get out of it. We have so many opportunities now in 2025 that the sky is the limit. You can be and do anything that you want, but at the end of the day, it is a choice. Stop being a victim. Stop blaming other people because you turned out to be a loser because of your decisions. Do that, and I guarantee you, life will get better for you. All right? Tuesday content starts right now. Good day, good people. It's AT Malone, the first of my name because the second is already here. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos from your boy. Now, it is Tuesday, and you already know it's Preparation Tuesday, even though I still have a lot of things I gotta take care of on my list of things to do that I have written down on my whiteboard as we speak. But I am continuing to check off the list, man. It's been an early morning. I've been up since 6 a.m. I got my workout in. Check out that morning PSA. Come on now, guys. We got to start taking care of ourselves at our older age. We got to make sure that we eat right, manage the things that go into our bodies, we gotta get at least 30 minutes of sweat in every single day. And if you can't do it every single day, do it every other day. But you gotta keep that body in motion because you need to live a long life, especially if you have kids. Don't you want to be able to play with your grandchildren when your children have children? You cannot do that unless you take care of your health. That is something that we have 100% control over. So get off your ass, stop being lazy, stop making excuses, and get to work. We all need to exercise. It's not just a subset of people who are just fitness influencers or living a certain lifestyle. That should be the lifestyle, guys. So you got to make sure that you get your sweat in. You got to make sure that you minimize the junk food that you eat in order for you to continue to live. Now, I understand life happens, you might, be deceased because of certain things that happen, like a car wreck or something like that, but that's something that you cannot control unless you're one of these crazy drunk drivers that are driving reckless, being irresponsible, and ending people because they chose to make a bad decision. Well, that's not the case. All right. Now, if you end up having a heart attack or having diabetes and all of these other things, a lot of that stuff is self-inflicted. Okay. So stop doing the things that will damage your body in the long term. All right. But regardless of that, I'm going to be honest with y'all. It is hot as hell down here in Texas. Hold on a second. Alexa, what's the forecast for today?
Currently, the environment is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, open sun skies.
Jesus.
Today, you can expect lots of sun with a high of 100 degrees and a low of 78 degrees.
It is. Okay, Alexa, stop. It is 100 degrees outside right now. All right. My AC is going crazy. Thank God it's a brand new one. I ain't got to worry about it busting on me. But that bill, I already know it's going to be insane. But this is the reason why you must keep a reserve. See, what I do is when I know that summer is coming, winter is coming, I start putting like $100 a month in my checking account so I can make sure whenever the temperature goes up, goes down, I'm not really concerned about it too much, even though it's still going to be high, but you got to keep that reserve. So once you get that increase on your utility bills, the money is there and it's taken care of. So always make sure that you have that plan for a plan for a plan. And that's what I do, man. I am a strategist. I'm always planning for the future. I'm always making sure if things go sideways or go wrong or don't go according to plan, I already got a backup plan. So make sure that you keep that backup plan in the background so when something happens, you already are prepared for it. All right. So we are on a new book. A new saga has started. And the book that I chose is this right here. See that? You see that right there? It is titled The Richest Man Who Ever Lived, King Solomon's Secrets to Success, Wealth, and Happiness. And this is going to be an interesting read because I'm actually going to take, the information out of these chapters to me that are important. So I'm not going to go through the whole book. I'm just going to pick things out that I think is important and that we could use in our everyday lives. But we're not going to do chapter 1 today. We're going to start with the intro, which is the origin story of how this book came to be. And I'm going to give a little brief summary about King Solomon. If nobody knows who he is, you'll get educated on that as well. So let's get started. Don't forget to like and subscribe too, man. So there's two friends. We have Steve Scott and we have Gary Smalley. Now, Gary was spending the night at Steve's house and Steve was telling Gary about his career difficulties. He's lost his 6th job since graduating 4 years earlier. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't keep a job for more than a few months. He even tried starting his own business a couple of times, but they quickly failed. He wanted some insight from Gary to help him get him out of this rut. Now, this is why having a friend that you can trust, that can give you information, that's not going to judge you when, you are going through things and you just cannot get a break. A lot of people will sit there and continue to talk bad about you, and some might call you a loser and all of these other things. And if you find yourself being around these type of people, don't associate with them. Disassociate with them, because you want to be around people who are going to lift you up. They're going to give you good insight to help you, that's not going to judge you because you are in a bad state in your life. All right, so make sure that you pay attention to your circle and the people who are not going to prop you up, lift you up, give you the insight that you need to get out of the hole that you continue to dig yourself in. They'll give you a life raft to help you get out of that. All right, so Gary prayed about it overnight, and the next day he gave Steve a challenge. He asked Steve, how would you like to become smarter than all of your bosses? And Steve is like, yeah, right. Our bosses are, at the top of the totem pole. They at the hierarchy, right? They're at the highest position. But guess what? Gary tells him, within 2 years, you will be smarter than all of your future bosses and be a millionaire within 5 years. Now, I know that when we get information that's hard to believe, we're very skeptical of it, right? Because it's like, come on, man. You giving me this information and I'm living for the moment and I can't see, in the future. Is this really viable information? But sometimes it is. I'm going to give you an example. So my mentor, right? Rest in peace. I got his initials tattooed on my wrist. One night, I got so frustrated with him and I was asking him, I said, why are you so on me all the time? And he's like, look, I gotta make sure you know how to run things in the event that I am no longer here. And guess what ended up happening? He ended up passing away and I ended up manning the helm in his business to keep it afloat. And it's still open till today. And the things that he taught me and the reason why he was on my ass all the time is because I kept making mistakes, and he could not afford me to make the mistakes because deep down he knew that he needed me to step up to the plate to help run his business when he passed away. So I understand that sometimes our friends, our family will give us information that we're skeptical of, but at the end of the day, understand where it's coming from that person. It's coming from a good place and they just want to set you up for success. All right. So Steve asked what he needs to do, and Gary replied, there's 31 days in a month, 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs that corresponds to the particular date. Read 2 chapters on the last day of the month that have only 30 days. Do it every month, month after month, and within 2 years, I guarantee you'll be smarter than all of your bosses. Do it for 5 years and you'll become a millionaire. Now, at this point, Steve has nothing to lose. He's hit rock bottom. So the only direction to go when you at the bottom is up, right? So why not give it a shot? All right, that'd be stupid as hell. What you gonna do anyway? You don't have anything going for yourself. You can't keep a job. You can't run a successful business. Why not do it? All right. So Steve took up his challenge, and within 2 years, he followed Solomon's advice to find a business partner, and together they launched a marketing company. Within a few months, they were making $1 million a week. Damn, that's a lot of money, man. Woo, $1 million a week. Jeez. All right. So Steve became a multimillionaire. So Gary was right. The information that Gary gave him, he actually used it, which is smart, and it made him a multi-millionaire. This is why you gotta listen, guys. You gotta listen to the people who are there for you. I'll continue to say that because it's very hard to find people that have your best interests. You might be friends with people for a long period of time, but sooner or later, if they're a wolf, disguised in sheep's clothing, they will reveal themselves. And when you recognize that, get the hell away from them. All right. So 2 years later, Steve called Gary and asked if he could write a couple books on marriage, even though Gary has never written a book. But Gary has been praying for the opportunity to actually write a book on marriage. All right. So Steve wants him to write 2 books, one for men, one for women. And they collaborated on the 2 books and wrote both in 2 months. The 2 books became international bestsellers, helping millions of families. Now, this is another thing. Finding people's hidden potential. All right. So if you care about somebody, whether they're friends or family, that's the thing that you should be looking within them to enhance them, to unlock them, is their hidden potential, because we all have potential. You might be good at something that you don't even know that you're good at, but somebody might detect that and tell you, hey, I think you're good at this particular thing. You need to go in this lane. And you might not believe them at first, but if they can break down the reasonings why they feel that way, why not listen to them? All right. So years later, Steve asked Gary if he would like to create a video to help millions more. All right. So together they produced Hidden Keys to Loving Relationships. Steve wrote and produced infomercials, putting videos into millions of homes and tens of thousands of church libraries. Steve not only helped Gary achieve his dreams for more than 30 years, but he's also been one of Gary's closest friends. Now, it's very hard to be friends with people for that long period of time, man. I mean, I had childhood friends, and I thought that we were going to be friends forever, and some things happened and we ended up going our separate ways. So when you have a friendship that, you know, whether it be your day ones, childhood friends, friends that you met in grade school, and that they're good people, stay locked in with them. Okay. It's very hard to find genuine friendships in 2025. It's so difficult because people have hidden agendas. They have, you know, selfish mentalities, and they're looking out for themselves. All right. So with this wisdom Steve received from the book of Proverbs, he created the CD series, Lessons from the Richest Man Who Ever Lived. Gary was so blown away with the content that he ordered 40 sets for his family and every employee on his staff. For 2 years, Gary and Steve talked about the need to put the CD material into print. Steve took Solomon's teachings and delivers them with a life-changing power and practical simplicity that can bring about dramatic changes in our lives. And that is the origins of this book, all right? So this is how this book came to be. But we got one more thing we need to discuss, because a lot of people don't know who King Solomon is. So I'm going to give a brief description of King Solomon. Now, King Solomon was the third and last king of Israel. He was born around 1010 BCE and died at 80 years old. All right. He's the 10th son of King David. He reigned for 40 years in one of the highest and most prosperous periods in Israel's history. He controlled the trade routes coming out of Edom, India, Africa, and Judea. He built the first temple of God in Jerusalem. He received from God a divine gift from God, knowledge and wisdom. Now, riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had who were before you, nor shall any after you have the like. Now, this is 2 Chronicles 1, all right? Now, the reason why he received this gift is because he went to God and said, "Now, O Lord God, let your promise to David, my father, be established, for you have made me king over people like the dust of the earth in multitude. Now give me wisdom and knowledge." This impressed God, and God said, there you go. All right. So that's a brief description of King Solomon. I suggest you guys do your due diligence on him. But this is why the wisdom that is in Proverbs is allowing us to be prosperous. And we're going to dive deep into some of his teaching and his wisdom through this saga. All right. Well, that is Tuesday's content. Look forward to next week, because we're going to dive into chapter 1 next week, and we're going to get to it, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Feel like they trying to box me in, so I keep a small circle around me, so fuck friends. I kept it real out the gate, these other cats pretend. Reigning supreme is something that will never end. So now and then, they got me feeling